Camera's a little bit crooked. That's my bad. It's my bad, everybody. It's a little crooked. We'll live. All right? Everybody relax. It's not a big deal. Can still see the cards just fine. All right. Basic Island to start for Phil. Windswept Heath for Sahaj. Is this game from Monday? Yes. Counterbalance for Force of Phil. Where did my sound go? Oh, here we go. Force pitching something for Counterbalance. I unfortunately missed it. Cracking Windswept Heath.
I have to get a... Okay, planes are...
Okay.
Pitch Force. Thanks, Splitzer. Shout out to Scott, Iron City Trades, and SMC. Got some recent cheers and gift and cheerleaders up in the top left of the screen. Appreciate that. Keeping some fuel in the tank.
Sir.
Go ahead.
Sylvan Library resolves. Sylvan Library pretty good. All right. Immediately removed by Prismatic Ending.
I see you. Yep.
So far, this match has been a battle. Raucous pass.
See that. Okay. Hang on. So I took 5 because I had myself signed out one of these. You ready?
Another counterbalance hits the sack. This one will resolve.
Master before combat, right?
I played the Hormaster last round.
Yeah. I mean, like before you attacked.
So
I
went to 18,
Yeah.
then you went to 13, then you were...
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Minsk and Boo hits the stack. Scalding Tarn revealed by counterbalance. And it looks like Minsk and Boo resolves, and Sahaj going digging for the Boo token. And attacking with it after plussing Minsk, it looks like, has already been sorted out by the players.
I think the green hand, but yeah.
So Minsk will be hard to beat if Phil can get a Caracas. That would be pretty good here. I think the land drop was just made for this turn. Gizlo is here and not at all late. You're a bit late. You're a bit late. We started 40 minutes ago. I believe that's a Misty Rainforest that just got deployed. Another plus. Make Boo a 7/7. And it's getting swords. Twitch chat, would you have attack with the 4/4 Boo and then sacked it there? Or would you have plus Minsk to make it a 7/7? What would you do? And I know it got swords regardless. And maybe Phil could have swordsed it with the trigger on the stack, but I don't know. Yurion to hand.
I could have cast it this last turn. I was debating whether to.
Attack and sack, says Twitch chat. Yeah, I don't know if it's correct to make it a 7/7 there. And obviously that's a matter of opinion. Alright, so another plus with Minsk. Attacking for 4. Goes through. Wasteland just got played by Sahaj. Let's see if it gets used here. Nope, it's getting used for mana instead, it looks like. Alright, Yurion comes in. Dream Cache on top of the library.
This says brainstorm on it. Yorion's good.
No blinks.
Okay.
Pass.
I'm gonna cast this.
Okay.
Dream Cache on the stack. It will resolve. Yeah, will we see a Star Wars Universes Beyond announcement today? I don't know. The card that was just played is Dream Cash. It was on the library revealed by Counterbalance last turn. Draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on either the top or bottom of your library for blue and 2. Kind of a weird addition to the deck. And Force of Phil has their deck list posted in our Discord server and some discussion of Dream Cash and why it is included in the list. So you could go check that out in our VIP channels. Phil is making the case for Dream Cash in the Discord. All right, so another Boo token has been created. Attacking for 8 now. Phil down to 3.
Pass.
How does Phil fight out of this? Terminus doesn't do it. Maybe a Terminus plus remove mint somehow. I don't really know how that would be done. Mystic Sanctuary is targeting swords, I believe Phil said.
Go to draw.
Okay, the Swords of Plowshares is drawn. Tapping 3.
Star spells and counter spells. Trifecta.
Another Dream Cash.
Two of these things I could beat, but all 3 of these is so hard.
Trigger on ETB. Make a spirit. Counter.
Now I'll ponder. And it's a ponder shuffle. Very, very light amounts of play over the last decade or so.
Being like, yeah, this is the eye.
Before that, I don't really know. Does anybody know? Like in the early days of Type 1.5 and Legacy prior to, let's say, 2013, was there scroll rack in the format? Does anybody know? I don't really know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time that there was scroll racks everywhere in Type 1.5 or Legacy? Like in top tier decks?
No, like it's fine. Main phase.
All right. According to Twitch chat, there was a time.
Main phase.
Carpet of Flowers on the board for Sahaj, which is pretty good. Getting ahead in the mana battle. Having mana in this kind of control matchup, control versus control,
Main
is
phase 2. I forgot to.
quite important.
Doesn't matter.
But it seems like Sahaj is just doing nothing this turn. Oh no, we're taking some game actions here. Let's see what happens. Sylvan Library, okay. Brainstorm and response.
Okay. Okay.
Good. Leverage.
Spell.
What does it mean? Missions expert stats.
1/1.
Wow, 2 and 2. You did the force of the
R.I.P. good deck name, says Ninja God King. You know, and I feel this way more than ever after having a Magic the Gathering YouTube channel. I know, right? Crazy. For the last couple of years. I appreciate so much more like what sites like MTG Goldfish and some others have done as far as adjusting people's expectations and habits as far as naming decks. The deck names like Parfait and Breakfast and Dead Guy Ale and all that stuff is like really fun, but it's really not useful at letting newer players or people just like orbiting the game or on the outskirts of certain formats, not really following very closely. Like for them to know what we're talking about is just not like. Sometimes I hear about like CEDH deck names for it. I have no idea what they're talking about, no clue, and it's just not helpful at all. Anyway, that sounded like a rant, but it was more just commentary on my experience. But it's true though. The deck names that don't really explain what's going on are really not helpful at all. Like Orzhov midrange is a better deck name than Dead Guy L in 2023. It's just true. Or Orzhov Stoneblade, something like that. All right, back to the Magic. Red Blast blew up Counterbalance.
3.
The Rock versus Sly is pretty straightforward, yeah.
I think you drew is this one if you want.
Yeah, that was another time.
Sorry.
Just refresh the barrel life so you make it here.
In CEDH, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, there are like archetypes that have nicknames that don't include the name of the commander necessarily. I don't follow CEDH closely enough to really know for sure what's going on though. All right, Wasteland on Tundra.
Before I make my land drop, right?
The beginning of your main phase, yeah.
Yeah. I'll do green.
Yep.
So 2 green. Loam DC back. Two flash strands and a wasteland.
Yep.
So I say
Oh, you got another.
Yeah, Blue Farm. I've heard that name before for CEDH. I have no idea what they're talking about. I have no idea what that means. And I'm not just saying that. I legitimately, for $1 million, couldn't tell you what that is.
Regular.
And that is the problem.
Library.
And starting with 2 thoughts.
Do regular. No loam.
Oh, so you get to choose them individually. You draw individually.
True.
Yeah.
True. Okay. Well, it's alright.
Okay, Sylvan Library is resolving here, and Saha is making sure it's resolved correctly. Putting 1 card back on top of the library, it looked like. I guess paid 4 life?
I'm gonna add 3 blue.
Not really sure.
Green, red, 1 blue floating.
Okay, 2 cards went on top, says Perfy. I must have missed that. All right, Minskin Boo has been cast using some mana floating from Carpet.
5.
Fuck, okay.
2 of them lands.
I'll brainstorm a response to this.
Okay.
All right, Triumph of St. Catherine has been revealed using its Miracle ability. And it's very likely Phil will cast it here for its Miracle cost. What happens after that? We don't know. It will be a decent blocker for Boo, at least for the meantime. Urion is in the command zone, by the way. It is not on the battlefield. All right. Triumph of St. Catherine has been cast. Brainstorm in response, using floating blue mana from Carpet of Flowers.
Oh, I just misplayed. So,
No cards. She's gonna resolve.
no cards in here.
I will force on the next.
Force pitching Dream Cash on Minskin Boo. Will successfully counter it.
And then,
Pasture.
And once again, Urion is not in play. It is in the companion zone. Attacking with Triumph of St. Catherine. Sahaj down to 13.
that's all right. Okay, you go to 1. Yep. I will pass you.
Prismatic Ending on Carpet of Flowers. I'll set Sahaj back down on mana to more equal to Phil. Sylvan Library, though, resolving here. Life from the Loam happens first. Dredging. 2 fetches and an endurance. And now the additional 2 draws. And paying 4 life. Is that how that works? I always forget. Do you have to pay the 4? Does anybody know what's going on with Sylvan Library? What does that card do exactly? It's too confusing.
I got carried a bit there. I did a few misplays.
Uro is good. Okay, Perfy said you have to draw for each card you draw after you dredge. Got it.
Yeah, it is. I just started playing it again last week, and that doesn't really. Normally, I would keep mean that much, but I did forget what a couple of my cards tried.
I mean, there's also a bunch of new additions.
Is a Ponder resolving for Sahaj?
Like, I knew you had the swords.
Voltone says, hi Chris, I'm also interested in streaming Paper Legacy at my LGS. Are you streaming through a phone or tablet? Is there a particular mount or stand you'd recommend? I have like a couple of threads about this in our Discord server where I could go really in depth. I don't want to do that right now on stream, but if you post a message in the Discord, I'll try to get back to you.
Just because, like, I mean, you might have like some amount of target, but I mean, I just feel like these are better than
Force of the
Oh, sorry, yeah, Force of Negation. Yeah, like Force of Will, at least maybe.
All right, here's a fetch for Sahaj and another Ponder.
Two surgicals, 2 burgers, and 1 like maybe I could bring these in for Ether Vials, or I could bring that in for Ether Vials.
Meltdown is not bad, I guess, as far as Ether Vial is concerned.
Yeah, that's probably better than 1 Spell Pierce.
Yeah.
There was once upon a time I was running some amount of.
Gravy Prime says the one thing I appreciate about a lot of Legacy players is that they invest in their decks, alters, full arts, promos. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the players you see play on this particular channel have just been playing for a long time. And their collections, you know, a lot of them bought duels when they were cheap. Well, compared to what they are now. A lot of them have altars for over a decade and stuff like that. You know, it takes a long time to acquire collections like these and have them be so blinged out, as they say. I'm sure there's some newer players who just made the investment in foils and whatnot, but I think sometimes people. All right, Triumph of St. Catherine is on the stack, and the players are disgusting.
We're companions.
Draw. This triggers,
You have to
right?
pay 3 mana and add them to your hand. Like I never got to play them.
I'm wondering if am I allowed to? This just triggers.
I wonder if like
Well, because the Miracle
away
Trigger
from
and
one
the
way
Library
or
Trigger
one
happen both on draw, right?
turn 5 or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
So imagine you get to stack them, right?
Okay, then in that case, if
I think so, right?
yeah, this I have.
I think what would happen here is that the Miracle trigger would resolve first. The Sylvan Library trigger would already be on the stack, but I'm not 100% sure. And I don't even know if it matters, but we're going to see Phil look up the rules here. All right, so Triumph of St. Catherine is on the stack. Miracle Trigger is on the stack. It was revealed as the first card drawn for turn. And now Sylvan Library is resolving before Triumph of St. Catherine is cast. I don't know if that's being done in the correct order, but that's the way it's being done.
Companions were miscalibrated. I think if they were like designed
I'm
to
not
be
gonna take any life.
powerful, but like still playable, it would have been
cast.
well like
Yeah, I think if you had more
This is on the stack.
Gigantas,
I'm gonna
where it's just like, oh, like it comes up.
Triumph of St. Catherine is on the stack, being cast for its miracle cost. And Phil has fetched in response.
if they were more like that, it would have been much more less.
I wonder then if it will be.
In response, Pyroblast on Brainstorm. And it gets countered by a Brainstorm revealed. Why not wait till after the shuffle, though? Isn't that better? Force goes back on top using Mystic Sanctuary. All right, yeah. So Phil played this quite well. The Mystic Sanctuary puts Force of Will on top to counter the Triumph of St. Catherine. It completely slipped my mind that it cost 5, and there's a 5 in the yard, so that was a possibility all along. But the Red Blast timing seemed incorrect there for counterbalance. Because there was already a counterbalance trigger on the stack for Triumph on St. Catherine. Keith Master Flex is here in the chat. What's up, Keith? All right, Tundra to start the game for Sahaj, Scalding Tarn for Phil.
Ragavan too. And Ragavan. Oh yeah, I forgot also. Yeah. 3 cards.
Volcanic Island for Sahaj. Brainstorm on the end step. Okay.
Interesting though is that they banned expressive narration in Pioneer, which is just like, is it really too much?
I wasn't really following it closely enough to know.
I know because like at the time,
Phil always knows, yeah.
Is it prowess? Like back maybe it was.
Phil knows everything.
Yeah.
All right, Triumph of St. Catherine is being revealed as the first card drawn for turn. It will resolve.
That's what was a tell, like how I.
Keith Masterflex with a great question. Have we seen any companion or adventure indicator tokens today? Unfortunately, Keith, it's been a little. This stream is a train wreck. It's really bad.
I've watched many a time on America, but like, yeah, I guess you're saying.
I'm still haven't played America enough to.
Perno says blasting in response to Sanctuary trigger seems most correct. Maybe.
Swing first.
YouTube commenters will be rewinding and fast forwarding through that whole situation and breaking it down for us in the comment section for sure. What would have been the correct play, they will know. BR Chato, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Hit the follow button. It's free.
God, what's happening?
Library.
All right, there's Sylvan Library once again.
Library's on the stack.
Swords on Triumph of St. Catherine in response. And it will resolve. So that Triumph of St. Catherine is gone for good. Sylvan Library will then resolve, it looks like, and passing the turn. Let's see if Phil has a prismatic ending to answer it.
Yeah, I'm gonna card this.
All right, double fetch for Phil.
It's gotta be sneak attack, right?
29-13.
Yeah, you hit me for 5.
Okay, yeah, I hit my accidentally the reset, but I lost my account.
I do not have an account. I'll tell you that.
Coming to a sneak attack.
I don't know, maybe.
Okay, the dress down works.
Does it? Does
Prismatic ending on Sylvan Library. Okay, so it's been handled once again. Well, I guess it stuck around for all of game 1. Mystic Sanctuary, put ending on top. All right.
A lot. That's why we play Brainstorm, right?
Will Sahaj follow up with another Planeswalker here? Tapping 3. Uro? Yep, it's Uro.
Trigger.
played against him, who I knew was always on. Yeah. Just kept looking at my hand.
No land drop.
Force of will, whatever. No.
Doesn't have the mana as of right now to escape Uro. Also doesn't have enough cards in the graveyard. End step Brainstorm from Phil. Maybe Phil's setting up a Triumph of St. Catherine.
I gotta say, this is a really good match.
Entreat the Angels. All right, so making 2 Angels. There they are. 2/4/4 flyers.
More than like Crystal Flood or Everpool Floodlight? Those are like the worst. Getting flooded on those guys.
Is it a good one?
Just like
What's
that.
up?
Is it a good one?
I couldn't really see it, but I'll tell you what, I think it was a planes. So if it is, and you want we didn't want to call it judge, you can.
I'm joking. It's
Okay.
okay. I bet.
Yeah, what do you think of Phil's tokens, everybody? What do you think about that?
I have 5 in hand.
5/5. I don't think you keep force ones.
Same thing.
Triumph of St. Catherine comes in. Sahaj says, I don't think you keep Enforcer Will in this matchup to Phil. We'll see. All right, Triumph is on the board. Jace the Mind Sculptor. It will bounce Triumph. And then swing for 8 with the Angels.
I'll pass you.
Jace the Mind Sculptor. Remember that card, everybody? Yeah, Phil did have a force in game 2, right? I believe so.
I don't even know how to do it. Honestly. I mean, I played versus control. I guess I'll just kind of like, I think it's terrible.
Zendikar block constructed stapled Jace the Mind Sculptor. Yeah, I forgot what Jace the Mind Sculptor does, but it, you know, some people are playing, and I don't know. Uro.
I'm pretty busy this week, so yeah. I tried.
Hype Train Conductor Rocan Man says Jace the slow player. Yeah. Oh, this is the one that makes elks? That's right, yeah, it makes elks.
I could be using I could be disruption, but I can't keep all of these combined in one deck.
Narset, Porter of Elves, Force of Negation, pitching Dream Cash. It is countered. Brainstorming with Jace.
And then there were 3 others to play.
You think we'll see Oko again in the Eldraine set coming out later this year? Or is Oko gone?
I'm going to surgical the Earl.
Surgical on Uro happening here. And does anyone watching right now, whether live or later on YouTube, think that any cards from Aftermath will be relevant in Legacy? Does anybody have a take on that? Any picks? Uro just got surgicaled. Filter out? Let's see if that comes up in MTG bot. Not in there yet. Come on, MTG bot. And are we going to see battles in every set now? Does anybody know the answer to that? I actually don't know the answer to that. Is every set from now on going to have battles in it? Triumph of St. Catherine has resolved. It was hard cast from hand. And a triumph for Phil.
It's great.
Bounce triumph, attack for 8.
And I'll pass her.
I think round 1.
I check my board.
Yeah, please do.
And then
And then people gotta try to get 2 or 3 out of home. Scalding Tarn comes in.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it.
It's only like an hour of thinking spread over 9 hours.
Bring it to him.
Yeah, maybe we'll see some Lord of the Rings battles. That would be pretty cool. Especially if they're all Legacy staples, right? Lord of the Rings versus Warhammer versus Dungeons and Dragons. It's going to get crazy, everybody. It's going to get so crazy. Why'd they make the Walking Dead cards so weak anyway? Why didn't they make them as good as Minsk and Boo and the Dungeons and Dragons people we all have to play with? I don't want to play Dungeons and Dragons. Like, what the hell?
Can I play Lim? Yeah, I played this.
Not interested.
I'm like, okay, if you have surgical, you would have picked something to find out.
Yuri on Sky Nomad on the stack, it looks like.
Yeah, no, I have. Well, okay, so.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have you for lethal, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
4 coins in your hand, pick again. I'm like,
All right, Phil points out I have you for lethal with Jace bouncing the Triumph of St. Catherine. That is the match. Good games. Good games.